Rachel Reeves returned from China, but the only thing she seems to have brought back is disappointment.
The Chancellor back from China, and it's good to hear her reiterate that growth is her #1 mission, because we haven't had any growth since her budget. And I just would like to ask the Chancellor today, because accepting responsibility is the first step in solving a problem, will she accept that her budget last October has caused business confidence and growth prospects in this country's economy to plunge?
In Parliament, she laughed. Yes, laughed when questioned about the UK's economic collapse. And how did she respond when confronted with reality? She lost her temper and showed signs of poor control.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. And it's good to see the Chancellor back from China, and it's good to hear her reiterate that growth is her #1 mission, because we haven't had any growth since her budget. And I just would like to ask the Chancellor today, because accepting responsibility is the first step in solving a problem, will she accept that her budget last October has caused business confidence and growth prospects in this country's economy to plunge?
I thought for a moment that the Honourable Lady was going to apologise for Liz Truss's mini-budget, maybe on another opportunity.
As you can see, she's still banging on about the £22 billion excuse to dodge taking any responsibility for running the economy. Until she owns up to the hole she's digging us into, we're just going to keep watching the economy spiral further downhill. Even after countless inquiries and investigations, they keep trotting out the same tired rhetoric. We all know what's really going on. They're utterly hopeless at managing things and are playing politics with our hard-earned money. It's beyond a joke now, isn't it?
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. While the Chancellor was in China securing her measly £600 million, borrowing rates reached the highest that they have been since 2008. And in 2023, she said her budget would be a budget with real ambition to fix the foundations, a budget that would rebuild Britain. How's that going when her mess has caused the borrowing to be the highest it's been since 2008 and making real working people in this country suffer?
Meanwhile, the American economy is surging ahead, attracting investment like a magnet, while here in the UK, we're drowning in empty promises and plans that never see the light of day. Even the deals being made barely cover a few hours of government expenditure. And that's just the start. Inflation is soaring, food prices continue to climb, and farmers are threatening to disrupt supply chains due to absurd tax policies. As for mortgages, brace yourselves, because interest rates are likely to shoot up at any moment. The fact is, the UK is falling behind, and the question on everyone's lips is this: does Rachel Reeves have what it takes to lead? Stay with me until the end to understand why the economy is at breaking point and what that means for you.
Mr. Speaker, as the Chancellor flew east, the pound plummeted south, and government debt rocketed north. Why? Because the markets don't believe her plan for growth. This is the fundamental issue. So I'd like to pick up the question from my honourable friend from behind me, is what is she going to say to the markets to make them believe she really does understand how to deliver growth in the UK?
Now, let's address the elephant in the room. Labour loves to brag about being the party of economic growth, but that promise is crumbling faster than business confidence.
Economic growth has to be built on strong foundations, and that is the approach of this government. And indeed, our mission to make Britain a clean energy superpower is consistent with that, because if we can wean ourselves off fossil fuels and dictators for oil, then we will be more secure in our economy because we do not have to import so much from overseas.
Meanwhile, the US, with its just-get-it-done attitude, is pulling in investors like bees to honey. According to Deloitte, 15.9% of CFOs see the US as the top investment destination, and the UK? We're down by 12%. Yes, down. Let's not sugarcoat this. The desperation is palpable. A City of London advisor described Reeves's supposed deal as a pitiful gesture. It's staggering they consider £600 million over 5 years as significant.
Dave Dugan.
Thank you, Madam Deputy Speaker. It's beyond parody that His Majesty's Chancellor would go and throw herself at the mercy of the Chinese government and come back with £600 million over 5 years in revenue. Is she aware that £600 million in revenue is less than 1/90th of HSBC's annual profit? This is what she's holding up as a major achievement by the Treasury on their trade mission. But in answer to my right honourable friend from Aberdeen South, who very reasonably asked when, not if, when her fiscal rules are breached, which will she do? Increase borrowing, raise taxes or cut spending? Not over 5 years, this year.
Chancellor. Well, I'm sure that the honourable gentleman opposite is an expert in HSBC, but I would rather take the words of the chairman of HSBC, who welcomed the tangible investments and indeed led the financial forum that we also held last week in China. I've been really clear. We will meet our fiscal rules that I set out in the budget, and we will do that at all times, and that is the commitment that I made and a commitment that I continue to make.
Back here, business confidence is in free fall, and what's the government's response? Vague promises of industrial strategies and advanced manufacturing. Brilliant, because empty promises are exactly what we need, right? And don't forget our old foe, inflation. Food prices are skyrocketing, and farmers are on the brink of halting supply chains due to unfair inheritance tax hikes. On top of all this, rising mortgage rates loom large.
China, New York, Washington, Toronto and Brussels to build economic relationships, yet won't take time to speak with the Ulster Farmers Union, the NFU, the Farmers Union of Wales, the NFU Scotland, to hear first-hand the devastating impact that her death tax is going to have on family farms and small businesses. When will the Chancellor realise no matter what deals she does around the world, and I welcome them, Rome is burning around her? Agriculture is the backbone of our economy, and therefore will she commit to meet with me on behalf of the thousands of farmers whose farms are going to be decimated by her death tax?
Chancellor, I've had the opportunity on a couple of occasions now to meet the First Minister and the Deputy First Minister from Northern Ireland, and I'm sure that my right honourable friend, the Environment Secretary, would be happy to meet with colleagues from Northern Ireland. But the truth is, Madam Deputy Speaker, we inherited a £22 billion black hole in the public finances from the party opposite, and to ensure that we can stabilise our public finances, we had to make difficult decisions on taxes.
So, what's your take? Should Rachel Reeves stay in charge? Share your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you think it's time for a change. And don't forget to subscribe for more straight-talking takes on the state of our economy.